Well, hello everybody. RainbowDave here. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 17. Today, we got the T-Dub, we got the Claas mower. We're on Meadow Grove Farm, and let's do a bit of mowing. Let's get ready for some silage. I know I did in the stream fairly recently here on the map, but I $3 for that field? Good lord, this man is giving his fields away. That is basically free. Nathan, if you're watching, maybe think about redoing some of the field depths. Because that's silly cheap. Or maybe just boost the multiplier on that field, maybe? Because you can boost the multiplier of the price on like specific fields if you really want to. For those of you that don't do mapping, you can boost the price multipliers if you really want to, and get that kind of stuff done. So we're going to do this field properly, professionally, realistically. He says driving at 18 kilometers an hour in a T-Dub with a Claas Disco 3450 on the back. We're gonna forget English. But no, I do have a new mod installed today. Actually, three new mods. One you've seen already, which is the Albert bag lifter by Farm and Ian. One is the liquid manure fix that came out on the mod hub yesterday. And what that does is it basically gives liquid manure when you spread it the same texture as solid manure. Which I like the idea of that. I kind of wish it would give it a different texture, but you gotta work with what the game gives you, so that'll do. Or I guess what modders will give you in this case. And the third is some big bags, which, yes, I have downloaded a new set of big bags. These ones, if I bring them up, and I presume they're in pallets, they might not be. Yes, these ones are by... Ooh, they have cow feed. This is new. These ones are by Jolly Dodger. Now you might notice, I think they're by Jolly Dodger. I want to say they are. You might notice there's quad sling and single sling. These are made to go with the Albert bag lifter. So the single slings are 1,000 litres, quad slings are 2,000 litres. Makes perfect sense. Seeds, pig feed, fertilizer, and cow feed, which I didn't know there was cow feed. So you can buy TMR now in game. Potentially really good for those of you who want to use seasons. And my roleplay on Cobra. Because I was kind of thinking, ooh, these would be nice on Cobra as kind of novelty items on the map. Did not realise they actually came with cow feed as well. That suddenly made them a hell of a lot more useful than even I thought. So I'm really happy. The liquid manure fix, that's literally just a visual thing. Doesn't do anything to how the game behaves. It's literally just visuals, and as a result I'm gonna get some... By the way, I'm gonna be doing Gamsting as well as a series and see how that does. Kind of some experimental videos. So tomorrow's video... surprise! Tomorrow's video will be Gamsting, and I'm gonna record that immediately after this one. And yes, as a minor little thing, I am going back to daily uploads, and as a result I might drop Monday streams again, because basically streaming hasn't been doing too well for me, and I've noticed the videos are kind of stable on the views, for now at least, until YouTube decides to release a new bot that demolishes videos. But that's kind of beside the point. You might notice you're not hearing so much clicking today. Yes, I have been bothered. The wheel is active. I am using the Logitech G27 that so many people ask about. Like, what wheel do you use? What wheel do you use? And for those of you that wonder, like, what wheel is worth getting? What wheel can you afford? If you only play Farm Sim, you don't need a force feedback wheel. You don't need a particularly good wheel. And this is advice that I'd never give. If you play Farm Sim, and only Farm Sim, and that's the only game you have that requires a wheel, just get a cheap one. It doesn't matter. You can... You know, there's no force feedback in the game anyway. The only reason I have a G27, and some of you guys know this, some of you don't, is that I'm interested in... English. I'm interested in sim racing as well. And I'm toying with the idea of, at the end of the current iRacing season, which I think it started fairly recently, I need to look up the week dates and whatnot. At the end of the current iRacing season, I am very, very tempted to pick up a 3-month subscription to iRacing and maybe put some videos on the channel, which will mean that you guys will see my real name, but I don't particularly care. If you look far enough back in the channel, you'll see an iRacing video, you'll see my real name, and I don't particularly care about that. But I'm also going to potentially do iRacing over on Twitch as well. And that'll be non-PG, non-Dave, it'll be no character that I... I've been failing to use the RainbowDave character, I've been a bit too real lately. But that'll be just me being me, chilling and playing iRacing, and probably, maybe not interacting with chat so much, because iRacing I tend to take fairly seriously, but almost definitely swearing. Because I'm not very good at iRacing, and it's been about 2 years since I've played, well, I say about 2 years. About a year and a half since I've last played iRacing. So, like, for a little while, the streams will literally just be rookie MX-5s and rookie street stocks, with actually, because this is a thing now, some rookie, rallycross thrown in. I'm about to get food, aren't I? I got food, it was delicious McDonald's. So let's continue on. Normally I'd have got angry, but nah. Delicious McDonald's, and I won, because the McDonald's Monopoly lottery thingy is going on at the moment. I actually won a small fries and a sugar donut, which, oh my god, I won a free donut. This is the greatest day of my life. What am I even trying to do here? Yeah, let's go around in circles, because it's gonna be it's gonna be slightly easier. I have no recollection of what I was talking about before I got food. Which is always fun. So if I repeat stuff after this point in the video, I don't even know how long I need to record for. I should probably check. He says tabbing out real quick to check the file size of the video or of the first part of the video. Properties. That's the one I'm currently recording, Dave. Properties. Where does it say how long it is? 7 minutes, so 20, 25-ish minutes. Okay. Organizational skills of a potato. So we should, in theory, at least get to baling today. Because I'm not going to go about this slowly as if I had a mower. I'm not going to do this, you know, 100% true to life realistically and go, you know, this kind of speed because it's realistic. No, I'm going to do this farm sim style, which means foot flat to the floor and just hope for the best. He said, my t-shirt keeps going up. Stop it. So, sorry for no stream yesterday. I woke up late and it became a massive cluster. Because I woke up at like 5:30. I could have streamed at 6. I know I could have streamed at 6. But the problem there, and I'm not making this up, I had to sit in the living room for an hour watching like NASCAR and stuff. Well, the NASCAR and stuff was my idea. Sitting in the living room I kind of had to do. Because we have a cat in the house at the moment, full time, because it's got ringworm, and we don't want any of the other cats getting ringworm, because that's not necessarily the best thing in the world for a cat to have, and it's like in the house for a week. So I had to leave it out of its box, its little carry box, for an hour and let it run around, and I did that and kind of left it out for a bit longer than an hour, because, you know, he was behaving. And then he clawed me in the knee and went back into the box. some choice words were said when the claw was in my knee. That was quite painful. That was incredibly painful, in fact. By the way, something that was pointed out to me today, or yesterday I guess. Today for me, yesterday for you guys. I've not really been promoting this very well at all, but I do have a Patreon if you guys want to like do a monthly support thing that's not a sponsorship. In fact, it's probably, even if you give like €5 a month, or $5 a month, or 5 whatever currencies a month, you know, the exact same as a sponsorship would be. It's actually more beneficial for me if you did it on Patreon. Now, granted, you wouldn't get the cool little emotes on streams, and I'm fully aware of that, and there's no way for me to like give you the Patreon guys the emotes, which kind of sucks. I really wish I could, but the reason I say it's better is because YouTube takes like 40 to 50% of the sponsorships and super chats, which is why I always say, like, if you want to support me to the maximum extent financially, without watching ads, because watching ads does help to a small extent, but if you want to help me to the biggest possible way, use the non-YouTube stuff. Use the Streamlabs donation link. If you do that during a stream, you'll get a thank you, and it'll pop up on stream. And actually, it should pop up anyway, in theory, on the stream, because there's something cool that you haven't seen yet, because I couldn't stream yesterday. I suppose now is a good time to tell you. Kind of. I was hoping to show this off yesterday in the stream, but oh well. The streams have got a new look of paint. I went onto a website yesterday that I know of that does stream layouts and stream overlays, and I bought a pack from there, and it's got new alerts, new overlays, new stingers, which is the scene transitions, and I really like the stinger. You'll see that for sure tomorrow or today in the stream. But yes, you might have noticed I said new alerts. It means the old alerts are gone. For now, at least, I might change it back. But the new alerts, the way that they work, is much more fitting with the new look of the stream. And in a way a lot less intrusive. So I don't know, you guys might prefer the new ones, you guys might prefer the old ones. You can let me know during the stream if and when they go off. But there is one thing that I am keeping, and that is there is a new ticker that I'll be using. And I do have everything set up, by the way. I spent, oh god, about an hour and a half last night setting up OBS to have all the new stuff, all the new overlays, the new look, the new coat of paint, as I like to call it. Because like the stream, they are going to change a bit, by the way. The streams will change slightly. I want to make some key changes to how I do them. Hopefully, so that you guys will enjoy them more. And yes, I did just do that. I did just basically blatantly cheat. So let's get the 11090 out. The Fiatagri New Holland that I can't make into a Fiatagri because the textures aren't quite right. And that's kind of annoying. Where is the windrower? I think it's up here. That's the baler, that's the windrower. Let's reset that. We're gonna just blatantly cheat here. And reset the 110. And hop into the 7810, which is right beside the 110. One thing I have noticed about this map, by the way, and it's something that I always notice about maps, so it's not something specific to Meadow Grove. It's something that I notice on maps more and more. Like, the more I get used to being on certain maps, the more I spot this happening. And it's something that map makers do a lot, and it's kind of, it entertains me to a certain extent. So what happens with a lot of map makers is they take bits of maps and they just go, well, I really like this, so I'm going to do this in my map. And they don't tweak it at all. And the reason I said that was the house over there, the way that it's laid out, and I'll just zip over there on foot. And this isn't a criticism of Nathan or the map, but it's a comedic little thing. This house here is laid out almost exactly the way that it is in Oakfield. It's the same house from Oakfield. It's laid out in almost the same way, and I, with no disrespect to Nathan, find that hilarious. And it's something that I notice in maps, is like, I'll notice that autosave went off. I'll notice entire set pieces just taken from other maps and reused, and that's perfectly fine. I find it funny. Personally, and I know I'm using keyboard right now. Don't worry, I'll go back to using the wheel in a second. It's just because I was going to be on foot for a little bit. Personally, that's not something I'd like to do, or I like doing, I suppose. Like if I take a bit of bits of set pieces from maps, I'll have a look at them and say, ooh, this bit of this set piece would go really nicely with this bit of this set piece over here. And I should mention as well at this point, I don't know how that house is made in G. It might be one solid thing, so there might be no way of like not making it the exact same set pieces on Oakfield. Which I get the feeling that's what the case is. But if the set pieces are modular, like, what's a good example? What's a good example? What's a good example? Ooh, the Frontier Cell Point at the West Coast, or on the West Coast. That's almost entirely modular. So what I do, and what I would do, what I did, what I will do, I'm not entirely sure what tense. What way to phrase this, but what I do, I suppose the best way of doing it, is, or well, did, because I did do this to my own, or to Donetsk, which, by the way, because people still asking, Donetsk is cancelled as a map. It's just not gonna, I don't have the time to work on it. I'd love to finish it, and if it was January still, then there'd be a fighting chance for the map, but there's so much that I want to do to it, to get it into a state that I'll be happy with it, that it's just not going to happen in FS17. So, and I don't want to convert it up to FS19 before somebody says, well, why don't you just convert it? I don't want to do that. It would cause problems, and I don't want to have problems. Because converting up to 17 was difficult and caused problems. You saw that in Colbra V1, well, all the versions of Colbra, the West Coast, Thornton, Sandy Bay, Chellington, they all had issues, and 90% of those issues, some of them, especially on Chellington and Colbra V1, which is why I mentioned Colbra V1 specifically, some of them were just down to lack of knowledge about FS17 and how it worked. Specifically tip calls. Because they were the biggest thing that came into FS17, and the biggest headache for map makers. Because you basically had to change how you did buildings. And the animal feed areas and dirt zones. So the dirt zone is where the animals kick out the food. That is a pain to do because, and silage pits as well, actually, to a certain extent. So, a little bit of insight into map making real quick. Because I know some of you are really interested in this, some of you are not, and I apologize to the people who are not interested. To the people who are interested, you're welcome for this little bit of insight. Dirt zones and silage pits, specifically, because they require the tip anywhere. The way that they work ideally, and this is an ideal case scenario, it's not true of all maps, but you might notice this on some maps, where there's minor issues because the silage mysteriously doesn't fill up the pit properly, or the animal feed area goes off at a weird angle. It's the animal dirt zones that are particularly bad for this. So the dirt zones, the way they work is they have to be north to south or east to west. So from the top of the map facing down or from the left of the map facing right. They have to be like that. That's the only way they work. If they're at an angle, they will automatically snap to the nearest 90. Which you would have seen on, I think it was Upton, where the dirt area just magically went off into the cows. And that was the game doing wonky stuff. You might remember in previous videos and streams I said, sometimes GE just does its own, or the game just does its own thing, regardless of what you say in GE. That's one of those things where the dirt areas just kind of go off on their own little wonk. And they snap to the nearest 90-degree angle. Whether it be 90, 180, 270 or 360, they will snap to that angle, and there's nothing a map maker can do to fix it. It's also why on... was it Lossburg? The animal feed area was at a weird angle. It might have been Chellington. The dirt area was like angled compared to... it was Chellington compared to the shed. That's why. It's... I'm gonna say a weakness of Giant's Engine. Let's use as many vehicles as humanly possible today. Why not? Let's use the 7710 as well. The 7810. So we'll drop off the seeder and cultivator combo there, and we'll drop off the big old seed box over here. Like that, and we need to reset two things which are in this field here, the HS2000 and the Rollant. And I hope this will work properly. So grab the Rollant, and now we got to reverse into the HS2000. Which is easier said than done because the Rollant's decided to go on a bit of a wonk for some reason. Oh, because it hit a wall I can't see because it's covered in bushes. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. So let's get this all lined up and good like. Nudge it forward a bit. And there we go. You might notice that I'm resetting stuff a lot more today. It's because I want to kind of get stuff done quickly. And I will put everything away after the video. I'm going to store a lot of stuff in this yard here. This is kind of the de facto main yard. It's not like... it's the main crop yard. It's not really supposed to be used for animals, but that's the way that it's kind of working out for me. How's that unfolded? Could do with being a bit more to the... there we go. So we'll just magic hedge our way through here, because it's easier. And we will select the baler, turn it, unfold it, unfold it. Why can I not unfold the baler? Okay, so maybe the bale wrapper has to be... I'm really confused as to what's happening right now. Okay, so detach that. Now can we... why can we not unfold the baler? Have I broken the baler somehow? Let's reset the baler again and see if that fixes it somehow. No, not that. I want that. No, not that. I want that. No, not that. I want... no, that. Not either of those two. Oh, for the love of God, game, you're being annoying now. Okay, so we'll reset the Rollant. And I may have accidentally found a bug with it, which I can throw it in and farm immediately after recording. Why did it not let me unfold? Yeah, it's not letting me unfold the baler at all. Is it because... Is it because the John Deere doesn't have something? I'm really not sure. Let's try the TW here. I'm really unsure as to what's happening right now. Let's get this more detached as quickly as possible. There we go. We'll try the TW on the baler. I'm really confused. This in theory shouldn't ever happen. It might be something specific to that John Deere though, so let's attach the baler. Yeah, it's bizarrely something specific to that John Deere where you can't unfold the baler. So we'll use, I guess, the TW to bale. Okay. The game has decreed it to be so, so it will be so. That's really bizarre. Does it it hardly requires the pipes to be there. Surely that's not the case. It hardly requires dynamic hoses to be installed on the tractor. Like with the 135 or something, I could understand it not being able to unfold the baler. That makes sense to me. But with the TW, no, it really doesn't. Or with the John Deere, even the 7810, that I have no idea what was going on there, but something was happening, and that's about all I can say, I guess. Things happen sometimes, and I get incredibly confused. So the joy of doing it like this is that I can unload the baler straight into... And this is something that was done, or is still done, I guess. Is that you get the baler, you kind of... I'm not sure exactly how it happens, because I'm not sure how many hydraulic lines it would take, because the baler would take at least, I guess, two, one for the pickup, one for the door, and I really don't know how many the bale wrapper would take. Maybe one for the arm, one for the wrapping deck, and one for the unload. I'm seeing 3 lines there, so I'm guessing that's the case. Yeah, it'll take 3 more. And the baler takes 2, but there's only... Well, there's 4 more hydraulic lines available there. So I guess you could do it. Also, yes, I am trying to pair the bales up like this, because that's what happens in reality. There we go. So I'm guessing it'll be like 5 hydraulic lines required. That's quite a lot, but I'm not entirely sure how the hydraulics would work. Like, would there be a pass-through on the baler? Would you just kind of run the hydraulic lines, I guess, around the bale door or something? Because over would be putting an awful stress on the lines. Even around, well, I guess around would put less stress on. Because over, like, you'd have the door opening onto the hydraulic lines and pushing them way up. And that doesn't sound like a realistic solution to me. I would guess the solution would be around the door. Huh. I'll have to look up real life videos of this this setup, because there are real life videos of this exact setup. In fact, McHale have a video of something similar to this. It does have 2 tractors, both Massey Ferguson's, one of which is drop nose from the early 2000s. Luckily, because McHale is an Irish company, you can actually pinpoint the year that it is, because tractor manufacturers or machinery manufacturers like showing off the newest and greatest tractors in their videos too. And the number plate on one of the Massies is 01G, so it was filmed presumably in Galway, up by Fahy, and Chris actually, for that matter, Chris the Irish Gamer, and it was presumably filmed in 2001, unless it just shows a random farmer and it was filmed in 2014, but the sound of it is very... I'm not going to link the video anywhere, but if you ever find it, it's a promo video for the HS2000, so it should be fairly easy to find. The sound of it is very 1980s. By which I mean the mic audio from the dude doing the voiceover is hilariously muffled. Hello and welcome to this video on the wonderful McHale HS2000 bale wrapper. Look at how great the bale wrapper is. And we can do the thing with the we can unload while moving. And it's just kind of hilarious how muffled the sound is. And I'm guessing that it's bad mixing considering it's as recent as 2001, but it may just as well have been, how can I put this nicely? A budget production? Because it's really well done as a promo video, but it kind of is in a way painfully obvious that it was done on a very tight budget, and it kind of seemed like the budget didn't stretch as far as a good microphone or a good sound mixer, because the voiceover is just hilariously bassy and just the sound mix was wrong. I'll put it that way. Whether it's a microphone issue, because some microphones when they're dying, or cheap ones, and you might notice this yourselves, if you're like playing around on your phone or your computer and you got like a cheap dollar store or €2 store mic, and you'll notice that sometimes it's very tinny, especially with the cheaper end of mics. They tend to go more tinny, and that's due to just the sensor being, in a word, bad. It can go the other way, where the microphone is hilariously muffled and bassy, which was the case in the McHale video, so... and I should mention at this point that I am in no way a professional sound designer or sound dude. I do it on YouTube, and that's about as far as I get. And even then, as a fun little behind the scenes, I've stopped doing that because it's easier to just record the audio on OBS and render the video as done after that. But that is all we have time for today, guys. I'm really enjoying using this setup to do silage. And I know that I've been doing a lot of grasswork recently on the streams, particularly. But we will do something different in today's stream. We'll be on Gamsting. And it's a map that is really, really good. And I streamed it on Saturday and nobody watched. I hope more people come in today, because I really do want to stream that map a bit more often. If not, that's fine too. I can just do some off-camera work like I actually did before recording this video, because I realized that I'd forgotten to finish a field for being seeded. So I just kind of sat down for 10 minutes and did a bit of off-camera work before I started recording. But that is going to be it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you really want to support the channel, you can join the Patreon as well. Thank you very much to the current patrons, which it's something that I've been neglecting to do. And if you are a patron, thank you very much. If you're a sponsor, thank you very much. Although sponsors do get the thank you of having a little badge beside their name in chat, as Fahy likes messing with, and the flipped tractor emoji, which I suppose is reason enough to be a sponsor. But if you are supporting the channel financially, I thank you so very much. It is almost impossible to get financial stuff from YouTube without being too negative and stuff. Ad revenue isn't great. But that's my problem, not your guys' problem. If you want to support the channel financially, you will have my undying thanks and gratitude, and I'll see if I can't do something, especially for Patreons and sponsors, that I can maybe do something to figure something or other out to get you guys bonuses that aren't like, here are free things, like screenshots and stuff, that I can take periodically. And definitely for patrons, I will be, if there become enough, I will have you guys give feedback on various ideas I have for the channel. But I will leave you now by saying I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Meadow Grove Farm. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said before, if you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be back again tomorrow with some Gamsting, which is a really nice map that you guys should definitely check out. Until physics. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.